When it comes to lunacy, nobody can keep up to Donald Trump. And he's doubling down again on Greenland first, saying in an NBC News interview he wouldn't rule out military force to make the self-governing Danish territory a part of the United States. Here's some quotes for you. He says, flat out, this is quotes, "I don't rule it out. I'm not saying I'm going to, but I don't rule it out. We need Greenland very badly. Greenland is a very small amount of people, which we'll take care of, and we'll cherish them and all of that. But we need it
to El Salvador."
Exactly. Are you kidding? I know where their boat's going. But he says that they need it for international security. He added that he doubted it would happen, but that the possibility is certainly there. Now, Trump has repeatedly expressed interest in buying it or using economic coercion, and, keeps threatening that if it comes down to it, he will use the military. Experts are figuring that Trump is eyeing more than just the land as a strategic thing in the military sense, but it's really a trove of natural resources that's the real grab here. Because as climate change starts melting the territory, there's oil and gas, rare earth minerals. There's a bunch of stuff that, we know Trump's chasing, right? With the whole situation with Zelensky in Ukraine. Since Trump began voicing these plans, he's raised questions about the island's future security as a whole. So Greenland has pushed back very strongly on this, as you can imagine. Here's quotes. President Trump says that the United States will get Greenland. Let me be clear. The United States will not get it. We do not belong to anyone else. We decide our own future. And that's the island's prime minister. I think it's Jean-Frederic Nielsen, although I'm trying to do it French style because it's the only thing I can even come close to if it's not just English. Yeah, exactly. There's something in there. But sorry, Mr. Nielsen. And because Trump keeps bringing up this military force thing, and they're getting right sick of it. And we are up here too. Greenland's not the only sovereign territory Trump has his sights on, no, as I bring this up, because he keeps bringing us into the fold up here in Canada as well. During the interview on Sunday, Trump said it was highly unlikely he would use military force to annex Canada. He says, "I don't see it with Canada. I have to be honest with you." He added that he talked on the phone with our new Prime Minister Carney after his win, calling the Canadian leader a very nice man. Trump congratulated him, but they did not discuss the threat of annexation. There's the last couple of quotes here from Trump. When asked whether the topic would come up during the upcoming visit, Trump responded, "I will always talk about Canada being the 51st state. It would be great. It would be a cherished state." There's that word again. There's a well-known thing. When the liar is lying direct to your face, he definitely does repeat himself.
Yes.
Yeah, cherished my ass.
See, he knows he just can't go marching into Canada because he'll get real pushback, whereas Greenland will be like an easier target just to land troops on, just take over.
Yeah, he's got to be the worst person on the world stage right now, aside from like Putler and a couple, the worst of the free world stage. That makes sense, right? Yeah, I think that's a credible thing to say. It's just such a mess. Everything he touches is such a mess. You can't just threaten to take over Greenland, you orange-painted idiot.
Yeah, I think I'd put Putin over Trump any day because at least you know Putin is out for everything.
Yeah.
He doesn't pretend to do anything else.
Yeah, well, no, but he is a liar. He says, "Oh yeah, okay, let's talk peace," and then he launches missiles, right? But it's Putler, Putin. You know what he's going to do anyway, right?
Yeah, yeah. And of course he's a liar. I mean, that goes without saying.
Yeah, that's like saying, "Okay, Charlie Manson, we'll let you out of jail. Please don't kill anyone."
Not many.
Yeah.
No. Any.
Yeah. So, speaking of criminal types, I think this ties in, doesn't it?
Well, I mean, it could be the next, Mar-a-Lago waiting to happen, because in San Francisco, and a stunning announcement that has drawn both support and criticism, President Trump declared that he has ordered the reopening of Alcatraz, and he doesn't just mean as a tourist trap. The infamous island prison in San Francisco Bay to house what he calls the country's most ruthless and violent offenders. He means his cabinet, does he? I'm not sure.
Democrats. Yeah.
Yeah, posting to Truth Social, Trump says he has directed the Federal Bureau of Prisons and other federal agencies, whatever's left of them, to reopen and expand the prison. Once home to the nation's most notorious criminals, including Al Capone and George Machine Gun Kelly. Okay. The reopening of Alcatraz will serve as a symbol of law, order, and justice, Trump wrote. We will no longer be held hostage to criminals, thugs, and judges
Wow.
that are afraid to do their job. Yeah, there you go. That's not that one in, didn't they? Trump's directive comes amid escalating public tensions between the White House and the judiciary, particularly over administration's controversial efforts to deport suspected gang members to El Salvador. Critics have accused the president of trying to sidestep due process. He's no one of an accusation. That's exactly what he's doing.
He's done it a whole whack of times so far. Let's just be honest here. Yes.
Now, Alcatraz, often dubbed the prison of hell, shut down in 1963 due to deteriorating infrastructure and exorbitant costs.
Well, it was after Clint Eastwood escaped. There's a documentary on it.
Yeah. Yeah, he painted his face in with paper mache, didn't they? And welded a spoon. Yeah. Well, at the time, the federal government determined it was nearly 3 times more expensive to operate than other federal prisons. With all the supplies needed to be shipped in. Since 1972, the island had been part of the National Park Service and serves as a major tourist destination, drawing over 1 million visitors annually. Now that would be just turn them into prisoners, why not?
Yeah. Thanks for coming. Enjoy your stay. It's going to be a long one.
It remains unclear.
Hotel California.
Shout. No one ever leaves.
No. He'll sue.
It remains unclear how the federal government plans to reclaim operational control from the National Park Service, or whether such a move is legally viable. Bureau of Prisons spokesman confirmed that the agency will comply with the order, but offered no further details. Yeah, a lot of people saying it's an absurd idea. Now, I hope to God he doesn't, watch that, that John Carpenter movie where, Escape from New York. Yeah. Oh, there's an idea. Yeah. We'll just put a wall around Manhattan.
He could get John Connery and Nicolas Cage to break in and take it over. Isn't that? Wasn't it Cage that ruined that lovely Ferrari in that movie? I think it was.
Oh, I don't know. Yeah, the bloody place is falling. The bloody place is falling to bit. All that sea water is corroding all the metal. Oh, they have to ship in fresh water supplies, for drinking water. Yeah. It's madness.
Yeah, totally. It's really stupid, but it's a Trump idea. So, were you expecting anything less? Of course not.
all I can hope is that he becomes the prime, tenant there in the future, shall we say?
I can only imagine he figures they're just going to call it Biden Island, right?
Obama land.
Yeah, exactly. Former president island. Yeah. Thanks for watching us, everybody. Hit like, share, and subscribe on your way out.
Yes, and get your famous prison escapee to leave a comment in the comment section below.
Don't forget to put your inmate number in the comment. What a moron.